Before I start with today's video, I'd ask you please to share it with whomever you think might like it. Now, YouTube is throttling my channel. That means that they're basically not showing my content to prospective new viewers. So if you who are watching my content, you enjoy it, just send the link to 2-3 other friends, right? And tell them that you enjoy my videos. And that way, some of them might come and see my videos because YouTube, they're not showing it because, well, you guys know why, right? Because I tell you guys what's actually going on, and YouTube doesn't like that. No, especially now with the 2020 election coming up. No, they don't want the truth out there. They want, bullshit propaganda, okay? And so unfortunately, my channel, which is not really political, is getting caught up in YouTube's throttling campaign, which is going on across the board with everybody who is dissident right or alternative or just not down with the mainstream bullshit, right? So anyway, please share my content. I'd really appreciate it because you guys are my only chance for my channel not to die. And I wish I were kidding, but I'm not kidding at all. Anyway, here's the video. It's on monkey branching. So recently on Patreon, I got a direct message from some guy who is telling me about a job opportunity that he had, right? Now this job opportunity sounded great, but it meant that he had to quit his previous job and do some stuff that he had to do. He had to learn some technical shit. And then he would have this great new job, right? So basically he had to sort of like close the door behind him, jump through a couple of hoops and then open the next door. Or said another way, he had to, imagine, he was Tarzan, right? Swinging through the jungle. He had to let go of the vine, fly through the air, and hope that he grabbed onto the next vine and not fall and splatter himself on the ground down below. You see? I told him that I didn't think it was a good idea. Okay, because my thinking is that you always want to be monkey branching. That is, you want to be grabbing the next branch before letting go of the previous one. You see what I'm saying? You holding on to one branch, right? And you're reaching for the next one, the next position in a job, the next girlfriend, the next whatever it is. You do not want to let go until you have a firm grasp of the next one. You see what I'm saying? Yeah, and only then, once you have grabbed onto the next one, then you let go and say bye-bye to the old one and swing on to the next one. You see what I'm saying? Women do this all the time. Okay, it's built into them, okay, from an evolutionary perspective. A woman will rarely dump some guy and live single for a while and then latch on to another guy. Yeah, it happens, but rarely. Because women are hardwired to always want to be in a couple, in a relationship, right? And if she is dissatisfied with her current relationship, she'll start looking for other guys, latch on to that guy, and then give the old boyfriend the boot before she moves on with the next guy. Yeah. It's evolution, and it's not a part of this video. You guys who follow my content, you kind of know already what I'm talking about. But the point I'm trying to make is that, see, you got to learn from women. And I insist, it's not just in relationships, it's not just in jobs, it's in everything. In everything that you do, you always want to be holding on to your last opportunity before taking your next one. And the reason is simplicity itself, because you see, a lot of times, in that flying in the air between opportunities, between branches, right? A lot of times in that situation, that position, maybe the next opportunity does not materialize or takes its sweet time about it or what have you. Or in other words, it's not there ready to be grabbed onto at the time that you need to grab onto it. Yeah? Yeah. That happens all the time. And that happens all the time, and it can be a disaster for you. And why do I know this? Well, because I've done it a lot of times. See, I'm the kind of guy who tends to sort of get sick of what he's doing and then leave it behind and then start looking for the next thing, okay? That's a flaw that I have, as a matter of fact. As a man, yeah. A lot of times, I'll have some really great setup, everything's going fine, and then slowly I get like bored with it or just not that interested in it anymore. And then all of a sudden one day I just like look at my watch and say, fuck this shit, I'm tired of it, I ditch it. I leave it behind and start looking for something new. And sometimes in that ditching it and leaving behind, then looking for something new, see, a lot of time can pass. A lot of time can pass, and what happens is that, see, my fortunes can begin to deteriorate, as they have happened, okay? There have been times where I had like a great situation, I just got sick of it and ditched it instead of holding on to it and grinding it out for a while, yeah? I ditched it, and the next thing didn't materialize as quickly as I needed it to. And because of that, I suffered financially, I suffered emotionally. Yeah, because, the uncertainty of being in the air, plummeting to the earth, right? To extend the metaphor, you're plummeting to the earth and about to go splat on the bottom of the jungle, right? And desperately flailing around and trying to find the next thing. Yeah, and that's what happens. You start to get desperate. Yeah, and desperation is the surest way to ward off success. Yeah, when you're desperate in anything, whatsoever you might be doing, whether it's women, jobs, business prospects, right? If you're desperate, that desperation oozes out of your pores. People can sense it. They might not be able to articulate it, but they can sense it. You act like a fucking loser, yeah? And look, I'm not talking about just you, I'm talking about myself here, okay? Whenever I'm desperate in any kind of, period of my life where I left something good behind and just like reached blindly for the next thing, yeah? I started acting all desperate, all needy, all pathetic, and people sensed it. And it made them want to run away. It made them not want to get involved with me, okay? And I'm talking women, I'm talking business opportunities, everything. People sense desperation and want nothing to do with it. And that's what happens when you let go of your previous branch before having grabbed on to the next one. That happens all the time. And of course, conversely, when you are holding on to your old situation, the old girlfriend, the old job, the old business, whatsoever it may be, you might be sick of it, but you're still holding on to them, right? Well, then when opportunities come your way, you're going to be able to compare the new thing with what you've got. And so you're going to be able to make an objective judgment, or as objective as you possibly can, or more to the point, the relative judgment between whether this new opportunity is better than the old one. Okay, because ultimately that's what you want. You always want to be going up. Better opportunities, better women, better whatever, right? And so if you're still holding on to the old one and something new comes around, you can compare. Yeah, because you still have the old one. You haven't let go. And you can compare and say, well, is this new thing better than what I got? No, then fuck it. And you just ditch that new opportunity and hold on to the old one and keep on looking for something new. But you don't get desperate. You don't get desperate and you feel confident and you don't start sinking down, as happens when you don't monkey branch. Yeah, monkey branching is a fine art, and it also teaches you something else, to always be aware of your current position. See? Because a lot of times you're living your life and you're not really paying attention to what's going on in your life. You're just living it as opposed to looking at it. Looking at it, analyzing it, evaluating it, right? And so you could be, for instance, you could be in some job, right? And you really fucking hate it. And rather than just, quit it and just like hope that you'll find a new job, right? Suppose rather than that, you just say, okay, where am I at in my job? You start looking at your job and analyzing it, acting more like a man, like I told you all the time. That the difference between a man and everybody else is that we men can look at things by way of reason, logic, our acquired knowledge, and our earned experience, and make a rational decision and not let our emotions get the better of us, not have our actions be dictated by emotions, right? If you act like a man insofar as your job is concerned, and you look at the job that you have right now, you can say to yourself, yes, I hate it, yes, I want to quit, yes, I don't have any more options in this job, but I'm not going to quit it until I find something better. And I'm going to look for something better. I'm going to do my damnedest to find something better, but I'm not going to quit it. Even though I have, say, I don't know, 10, 20 grand in the bank account and I could survive on those 10, 20 grand. No, 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 I'm not going to do that. I'm going to stick to the job, stay at this crappy job that I hate, gritting my teeth, but knowing every day that I'm looking for something better. And that attitude of analyzing where you're at is something that monkey branching teaches you. It teaches you to think. It teaches you to think about what you've got, okay? Because a lot of times you don't realize what you've got. You don't realize sometimes how good you've got it, okay? And sometimes, for instance, in the crappy job that you hate, right? Maybe you do hate it, maybe you really want to quit really, really badly, but you realize, for instance, that you're in some company. And if you hold on to this job for, say, 6 months or maybe a year, maybe even 2 years, but at the end of that, there is a 60% chance or better that you're going to get a big bump up in salary, responsibilities, and more interesting work. Well, then what do? You suck it up. You see what I'm saying? You see how monkey branching and thinking in this way of never letting go of what you have before you have grabbed on to the next thing, right? Monkey branching helps you value what you've got at the moment. A lot of guys fail to monkey branch, especially with women, interestingly enough. Yeah. For some reason, guys, a lot of times, they are not evaluating fully what they've got. Because sometimes, for instance, a guy may be with a woman, okay, and he's kind of sick of her for XYZ reasons, right? And he, some other girl passes his, crosses his path, and he instantly latches onto this new girl without thinking about the one that he currently has. See? What he does is that he just instantly sort of like quits what he's got and jumps onto this new girl, thinking that he's monkey branching, but he's actually not, because he's not analyzing the current relationship that he has and comparing it to this new girl. Because it could be that the old girlfriend, right, her flaws are XYZ, but it could be that this new girl that he's thinking of replacing the old one for, of like letting go of the old one and grabbing onto this new one, right? It could be that this new girl has flaws of her own, flaws that are much more serious. It could be that this new girl who's crossed his path, yeah, maybe she's prettier and sexier and better in the sack, but maybe her flaws are XYZ compared to the old one. Maybe they're worse, and you see? And it could be that just because she's new is not a good enough reason to give up the old. And that's another key issue about monkey branching, if you apply it properly, of like really thinking about your current situation and contrasting your current situation to the new situation. It could be that the new one is shinier and prettier, but actually worse than what you already have. So you see my point about monkey branching. It's not merely about holding on to the old until you're sure you got something new. No, it's also about analyzing what you've got. Because so many times guys do not analyze what they've got. They don't realize how good they've got it. Yeah. And this happened to me all the fucking time. I'm 51 fucking years old, and I can say honest, hand to heart, that it's only been in the last, 5, 6 years maybe, that I've really started to pay attention to what I've got in the moment. And really evaluating what I had in the moment, as opposed to just, some passing fancy, I got impatient or bored or tired of what I had and just ditched it and moved on to the next thing. Because that's what I used to do. I used to do that all the time. But now I don't, thank God. Now I analyze what I've got, and that's what you should do. Always analyze what you've got. You pay attention to what you've got, you analyze it really cold-bloodedly, yeah? You don't look at it with rose-colored glasses, what you've got, and you don't look with rose-colored glasses at the new thing crossing your path. You look at shit as it really is, okay? This is going to be one of the most valuable things you can ever do, okay? Most mistakes in life are because people fail to appreciate what they've got, and they decide to jump into something new blindly, without any kind of thoughtlessly. They jump into some new thing without realizing that what they have currently is so good on so many levels. And maybe they're tired of it, maybe they're bored of it, which is normal and natural. We all get tired and bored of everything, no matter how good it may be. You can be sitting on $1 billion and having like, orgies with hookers and coke every fucking day and get bored of it and tired of it and thinking that maybe you want to move on. You can get tired of anything, okay? But what you have to do rationally and thoughtfully is pay attention to what you have and see if it's really valuable or if it's just a passing thing with you, that you're bored and tired, but what you have is truly valuable. And this new thing that's crossing your path, that you want to latch on to, it's new and shiny and pretty, but it's not truly better than what you've got. That's what you have to pay attention to. And that's why monkey branching is so fucking valuable.